Get ready for a conversation with unfiltered truths, politically incorrect statements, and a ton of shit that will piss you Karens off. You've been officially warned. Welcome to the Big Mike Podcast with your host, Big Mike.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Big Mike Podcast. I'm your host, Big Mike, and this is my cohort over here. How you doing today?
Not too bad.
So let's get right to it. Man, if you guys seen what Linwood was dropping on some of those tweets, he was dropping fire bombs, man. He's basically calling out the deep state big time. A lot of people think he's off his rocker, but I'm not one of them. For the simple fact, I've been following this for probably about 3 years. Deep diving down to human trafficking things. But if you don't know who Linwood is, he's the best defamation lawyer in the country. This man has dropped some tweets about John Roberts. We're going to talk about Joe Biden. I mean, he dropped some serious accusations. Sorry, y'all. Having one of those days, his mornings. And to me, it was just like I knew about some stuff that was going on. A lot of stuff was floating around the internet. It was conspiracy theory. But the more and more you really take a look at this human trafficking side of things, this pedophilia that's going on with these kids, the more he speaks, the more he's just asking questions. So I think this is part of the declassification that we were working on.
Okay.
I think that's what it is. The declassification where Trump's just going to dump the wheelbarrow out on everybody and go, hey,
this is it.
You son of bitches have been playing these games. You want to play this game? It's smoke and mirrors. It's a lot of stuff. We don't know personally what's going on behind the scenes in Washington. Now, you haven't seen Trump all over the news at all, period.
You see him during the holidays, and that was about it.
No, that's plain and simple. So we're going to go over a little bit about Linwood and what he said, and which you guys can actually go check this out. Now, see, if you guys watched the first podcast, the very first one, episode 1, at the end of that podcast, we were talking about the Bush funeral.
Mm-hmm. The envelopes.
Now, everybody, I was talking about this before Linwood dropped this. Okay. I knew about what was going on because I saw some information. Now, there's videos and stuff flying around. So going back to the very first one, if you haven't watched episode 1, go watch episode 1, and at the end of it.
Probably like the last 5 minutes, I think.
Yeah, watch the whole thing. Watch the whole episode. You're going to get a whole gist. So we're at episode 4 right now.
Yep.
Okay. So that, when we were putting that together, I threw that at you real quick.
Yeah.
And you weren't
said to do some research, and we're going to come back to it.
Right. So Linwood dropped the hammer. He was telling about the envelopes that were passed around. Now, there's videos online. There's videos of them passing around at the Daddy Bush funeral. Passing around to certain people. Obama.
Biden. Laura Bush.
The Bushes.
Yeah, the Bushes. Jeb Bush
even Mike Pence.
Yeah.
Okay, it was a note. When it was sitting there, they know everything. Sorry. Daddy Bush. George Bush.
Yeah,
that's what was in that note.
H.W. Bush.
George H.W. Bush. Now, on top of that, too, if you're in the military, you guys understand about what traitor is as far as burial, the flag being wrinkled.
Yeah.
John McCain's flag was wrinkled to the max. That's pretty much saying he was a traitor. If you look at George Bush, his flag was wrinkled. He was a traitor. If you really start asking yourself the questions and really start deep diving into some of this information, it kind of freaks you out a little bit because it's showing everything. So Linwood's going off on John Roberts, saying Justice Roberts was involved in an adoption that wasn't legal.
Okay. Now Roberts is this conservative / not conservative justice, correct?
Right.
Okay.
And Roberts is also being blackmailed.
By?
From what I understand, what everybody keeps throwing around, there's a group of probably about 10 intelligence committees, 10 institutions that are pretty much their claim to fame to control things and control the outcome of certain things. The way it works is they put people in compromising positions, got videotapes, things of that. it's hard for me to say it, them raping children and then shooting a child or whatever, doing all kinds of stuff. Some of you guys hearing this is probably going to turn your stomach, but this is the God's honest truth. What's out there, we have 250,000 kids. This is what's crazy. A year in America missing, disappeared, poof, off the face of this planet, and no one's doing any type of research at all. So,
and then when you try to call it in, like somebody's kidnapped, you got to wait 24 hours. Well,
there's a lot of other things. He brought up some documentation that came up in the Minnesota courts about where the Minnesota courts and Pam Bondi down in Florida, and there was a prosecutor down there that was hiding some stuff and throwing some. It's just all over the place. I can't get into go down every single line because people want to ask so many questions about it. So all I'm doing is just bringing light to what Linwood is bringing up. So if you guys want to go find Linwood, go look up Linwood. This guy, listen, what I say.
Somebody texted them. We're doing this.
Yeah, which is
the podcast.
Yeah, the wrong type of people to be even texting me right now. When I say this man knows him, he's the best defamation lawyer in the country. So he would not, as a man of like being one of the best lawyers, one of the top 100 lawyers in the country. With this, I mean, there's a couple of them. Robert Barnes is pretty good too. This is Sandman's lawyer. If you guys didn't know.
Oh, okay.
Sandman, you know, where he walks up and he's thumping the drum in the kid's face, and the kid's freaked out. He won that lawsuit, and he's probably going to win a couple more billion, too, with the defamation. Linwood.
What did he get, like $256 million for that?
He got quite a
from
bit. From
CNN? Well, it was undisclosed, but they were talking about $256 million?
That's what they were saying.
That's what that lawyer got, that high school student, so.
Yeah, so for him to come out and put his life, his career, and put himself basically in danger, in my eyes, I think he said he has the key. He has, if anything happens to him, he's going to, you know, just let the information flood. Kind
of like the Epstein thing.
Well, he's down in the Epstein. This is all tied together. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to put, I think this is part of the declassification everybody's been talking about.
Okay.
Because what's going on, you got one section working on the election, which is kind of weird because Linwood's from Georgia.
Yeah.
So Linwood's like really tripping out about the election fraud. He knows so much stuff that's going on.
And now I know he's freaking out about these Senate runoffs too. So
right. So basically, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to give y'all can go check this out if you want to, but I'm going to give y'all what the group of information that everybody's been trying to keep hush hush. Because see, what happened was when Trump was running, they thought they were going to topple him, no problem.
Yeah.
On the first he ran.
Yeah.
They thought it was no big deal. It was going to be business as usual.
Yeah, he'll be in and out.
They ain't worried about it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you got Linwood dropping bombs on Christopher Wray.
Okay.
That's the FBI director. Definitely going off on Joe Biden, Roberts, the Clintons, Bush, Mike Pence, the whole 9 yards. And everybody probably thinking, why is he all over Mike Pence? Because if you look at the court documents and what was going on, Mike Pence was involved in some of the – because there was an executive order written back in 2017 that stated if anybody was involved in any kind of child trafficking or anything like that, or any type of treason or anything like that, we were able to take their assets.
Oh, okay.
So I think that's why people are starting to scram around freaking out now, because some people in the Congress and Senate are compromised. I'm a Democrats and Republicans.
Okay.
These people are now, you're going to see a lot of stuff going on. Cocaine Mitch is involved. There's a couple of them. Mark Meadows, I think he's compromised too. Mark Meadows is a snake in the grass. So going over to Daddy Bush, Bill Gates is involved in it. The FBI director, Christopher Wray, the CIA, Mike Pence. See, here's the weird part where I don't understand is you got Mike Pence that works side by side with Dr. Fauci.
Yeah.
In January,
on the Corona task force,
everything.
Yeah,
and then Pence is all over the place. Yeah, he understands this, he understands that. Then don't wear a mask. I want you to show me a study, a peer-reviewed study, that masks truly protect you.
Yeah,
because I don't believe in it.
Mm-mm.
I don't believe in it at all. You go through that. We go through that crap every day.
Every single day.
So, look, if you want to look up any of this type of information. All this information I'm talking about, do not go on Google.
No, you won't find it on Google.
No, I'm going to tell you where to go, and then you go look up there. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
There's a platform that a lot of people know about. A lot of people don't know about this. Go to duckduckgo.com.
Okay.
Basically what it is they are not suppressing any information. So if it's on the web, it's going to be on there. You're going to be able to find documents and all that. Duckduckgo.com.
Mm-hmm.
Check that out. Spell it just like it is. Duckduckgo.com. If you want to look up any of that. So Linwood was bringing up some stuff, and basically what Linwood does, when you read his stuff, it makes you question
Everything.
You just answer a question. You just basically, let me question this.
Yeah.
And then how you find out information and the truth is you keep questioning.
Okay.
Until you get down to the bottom of everything. So I decided to go do that. Lynn said something about a Biden tweet in 2018, which kind of threw me I was like, I'm going to go check that out.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure after Linwood already dropped all this stuff, I'm pretty sure the tweets in the Biden camp are trying to nail this. But in 2018, Biden tweeted out that he was worried about the Trump administration not being prepared for any type of virus attack. In 2018.
So 2 years before all this stuff happened.
So what I'm thinking, did he know the plan? The pandemic?
Yeah.
If he knew the plan,
that alone right there, yeah.
That alone right there tells me everything I need to know about Joe Biden pretty much. We all know he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So go check that out if it's still on there. Like I said, don't go to Google.
Don't go to Google.
Just
You're
go
not going
where
to
I
find
told
it.
you to go. You're going to find this.
They suppress everything.
But I'm pretty sure this 2018 tweet of Joe Biden asking the Trump administration about the need to be prepared for a virus.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was their play. Yeah. Because what they needed to do is they need to get Trump out of office because they knew everybody was compromised.
Yep.
And if they couldn't cover their ass, and he was going to...
Because he's not a politician.
Exactly. Same thing with Joe Sekulow, Trump's lawyer. There's 2 or 3 lawyers. Everybody's tripping out about the Trump recordings. He caught, remember, the leaked recordings from the meeting?
Yeah.
I don't think... Hear me out. I listened to those recordings.
Now, isn't it against the law? I know it's supposed to be leaked.
From the White House?
From the White House? Anything?
I think anything in the White House is
having
recorded,
to deal with
it's under, like, security
advisement or something.
Something like that.
Yeah.
All I know is I was told since growing up that all that was official record.
Yeah.
To be sealed and all that kind of stuff. So if Jay Sekulow did, but I don't think Jake Sekulow did it. I think Jake Sekulow is a piece of shit because he's all about wealth. He's all about this. This guy pulls up at the White House every other day in a brand new luxury car. Yeah. I swear to God, this dude's an idiot. He might be smart. He might be an attorney, but he's just a paper chaser.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what it was is I think the Trump camp leaked out. I think the Trump camp leaked this out.
Okay.
Hear me out why.
Okay.
Because it caught and asking certain lawyers and certain things on a phone call about certain types of fraud, and it showing the people and listening to people hearing it going, oh shit, he just basically has voice record that recognition that these lawyers were involved in this shit.
Okay.
That makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, it does. So
that's why part of me, when they're going, oh my God, it should be treason, he should be impeached. Nah, it was a play. It was a play. It was 3-dimensional chess. And when I was listening to the tape, it was a long tape. I mean, a lot of it. You have to stop, go back, listen to it a few times. But when I heard it, I'm like, okay, this is a leaked audio. It wouldn't be that long of a leaked audio.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You would never let that much go out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, leaked audio could be maybe 2-3 minutes. This shit's a long period of time.
Yeah, a leaked audio is probably under 2 to 3 minutes, not, what was it, 45 minutes? Or more?
I don't know. There's it was chopped up so much. I don't know if I was listening to the full thing or if it was chopped. But from what I got from,
it was more than 2 or 3 minutes.
Because Trump was digging into those people. He was telling them, and he was talking about the Dominion voting machines. Mm-hmm. He was like, did the voting machines get seized?
Yeah.
No, they're still here. But Trump was slick because in that recording, he goes, I'm not talking about the machines. I'm talking about the parts in the machines.
Yeah.
And I was like, when he asked that, did those parts get moved out of the machine? And that lawyer said no. He just incriminated himself on tape.
Okay.
Because I think he had military intelligence were already in there.
Okay.
Because, I mean, you saw that guy the other day when he was in that hearing in Georgia, and they were already hacking the machine.
Oh, yeah, they were hacking it in real time.
You know,
like while they were there, they were hacking it.
I mean, I got video of it.
And I think they got it through, like, the thermostat or something. It's not supposed to be connected to a Wi-Fi.
Yeah, they jumped
the thermostat. Yeah, the thermostat was connected to the Wi-Fi. They got onto the machine through the thermostat, through the Wi-Fi, and it's not supposed to be able to be connected to the internet.
Now, these guys are professionals. They knew what they were doing. They literally got in. They literally said they got in less than 10 minutes.
No, yeah, I think it was 10 minutes. Within 10 minutes, yeah.
Within a 10-minute
real
frame of them
fast.
starting, they were like, boom.
They're
off.
in the middle. They're in the middle of a congressional. I think it was a state congressional hearing, correct? In Georgia.
Yeah, something like that.
And while this is going on, he interrupted somebody who was talking and was like, "We have something to say." Boom! They hacked the system in less than 10 minutes.
And then what he was doing, if you guys watched that, the guy who was up there talking was a cool cat, because he was like, you could tell he was talking with confidence, and he looked down, and right when he looked down at his phone, and he knew that they were already in.
Yep.
And all these people, you should see the faces of these people were priceless. They were like, what the, man, shit.
These are not supposed to be compromised machines.
Right. Well, I mean, the software is compromised. All the money it sips back to the CCP, the Communist Party in China. All that money trips back. So as it's tripping back, this is what I did. I kind of went back and did some more stuff on the Georgia stuff with Linwood, because Linwood asked the question and everybody kind of just shuffled it over. But I still brought this up because I think Kemp from Georgia is compromised too.
Okay.
Because they promote China more than they do Georgia in the state of Georgia. So Governor Kemp came out. It was a press conference. I don't know exactly what day. It was back in a couple weeks ago. And he said he was going to decertify the election.
In Georgia. He
was going to throw it out. Okay. The day before he was getting ready to do that, there was a car accident. They're saying it's a car accident.
Okay.
With Governor Kemp's daughter's boyfriend.
Okay.
But, so what happened was he got into a car accident. So everybody thought it was a car accident. No. If you go look Governor Kemp, go look at the car explosion. It looked like an IED bomb in Fallujah. Like the car was just rocked.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden the next day, he changes his thing to where he's going to certify. We're just going to keep going forward. We're going to certify it.
Yeah.
So that tells me, and then on top of that, we got record of Governor Kemp in Georgia that he was ordering stuff from China, face masks, gowns, and stuff like that, at a gouged rate, meaning they were overcharging him and he was paying for it.
Okay.
So that's just another racket the CCP does, is where they gouge you for everything.
Yeah.
So, and then on top of that, they're still checking out. They're still going down the rabbit hole, not the rabbit hole, but they're still going down the money trail of Kemp, with all the money. Now Kemp's a Republican.
Yeah.
So, and
how does a Republican-run state switch to Democrat?
Because Governor Kemp and his group of cohorts,
think of that.
They're paid off.
Exactly.
Either blackmailed or paid off. It's the only two things.
Or the election was stolen.
Well, this is a whole part of it. I think it's all coming together as a hit, because I think Americans are really looking into going, okay, this is some bullshit. They're trying to. Here's the thing: you're not going to steal the election away, because our president is Donald J. Trump, all day long. Trump is our president. We do not want this communist in. We don't want Kamala Harris.
Yep.
None of them. Nancy Pelosi's freaking out right
now. I listened to something, and we're talking about, Biden not being our president with what's going on in January 6th. If something does actually happen to Biden, people don't understand this. And I don't know if you know, but if something happens to Biden, he still has to be sworn in. If he's not sworn in, Trump is the president still, because they have to certify the electoral votes for the president, not the vice president. So just because Biden won the election doesn't mean, until he's inaugurated, he's not the president. If something happens, death, he gets incarcerated, anything major that happens to Joe Biden, they can't solidify the electoral votes for Joe Biden. Guess what? Who's the only person that voted that ran against him for president? Donald J. Trump. So guess what? Donald J. Trump is your president again.
There's so many different variables, and you're hearing so many different things on TV, and you're listening to the wrong people talk. Because don't even know if Newsmax is really. I mean, I don't even know if they're still reporting properly, but I've seen some questionable stories and questionable reporters on there. It's the kind of conflict because because on Newsmax you got Steve Bannon's show and a couple other podcasts on there that are good, and then once those podcasts are off, it's like you listen to what those guys are saying, and then they go to the main Newsmax like Craig Kelly and all them. Now, I'm not saying Craig Kelly so much, but I'm saying that the other reporters in there is
it's kind of like Fox News weekends.
If you look at look at how the media's ran, these people slip people in.
Yeah.
New hires, because Newsmax is growing so fast, they need personnel.
They're growing fast.
I mean, they're ripping and rolling, but also too, we all know when that happens, that you're going to get some vipers that slither in there. You're going to get some people trying to put some different thought processes in, the way they report news. It's the infiltrators, and that's what we're dealing with. This kind of reminds me, it's like when I was growing up and you watched all the movies in the 80s and, like the Red Scare and socialism and all that kind of stuff. And you were like, man, really, because back in the mid-30s and 40s, people were freaked the fuck out over that.
Yeah.
The Red Scare and all that.
Well, and then shortly after in the 50s with, the Cold War going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but what happened was America, we were flourishing. We got in the 90s. We started rocking and rolling. And I think what happened is we left our guard down.
We stumbled into 2010s.
Yeah, we let our guard down. While we were letting our guard down, there were moves behind our backs. We didn't know what was going on. And I think what you're going to see is either you're for it or you're against it. That's what's going to happen. Either you're going to be an American or you're going to be that asshole out there breaking windows, threatening people. I just saw a thing this morning where some leftist people rolled up on a GOP. I don't know if he was a senator or a congressman or whatever. He was at his house with his newborn baby. They roll up, scaring the shit out of his wife. What you're doing is you're setting up something that you don't want, because you're not going to be able to put the shit back in the cow once it starts. Yep. First and foremost, I will tell you this. Any leftist rolls up on my front porch and tries to terrorize my family,
it's not going to end well.
You are not going to make it off the property.
No.
I can promise you that.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. I was raised like this. If you're in Texas, you probably heard this. Hey, the sheriff's only got to hear one side of the story.
Yeah. Yep.
So think about it like that. But I'm shocked that these people are so bolden that they're going to run up on people without any care in the world, because what's going to end up happening, you'll get your head blown off.
Yeah. But if you deal with the wrong person.
I say this all the time in my podcast. If you think you're a Billy Badass, you're going to roll up on somebody, and I'm telling you, your family's going to be crying because someone's going to take your ass out, and there ain't nothing we can do.
Well, look what happened with Rittenhouse. What did he do with the guys that ran up on him?
The Rittenhouse thing, he was getting attacked. I watched the video over and over and over. That guy.
But if they come to your house, they're going to try to attack you. What are you going to do? Defend yourself.
What do you think is going to happen?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
What do you
You're
think
going to defend yourself.
Within 60 seconds, what do you think would happen?
They would not be standing. They definitely would not be standing.
Even if they had weapons.
Still not going to stand.
No. Because, like I say, go get you some training.
I
don't care who you are. If you're an 80-year-old grandmother, go get you some training. Learn how to manipulate your weapon. Because the weapon is just an extension of your protection. Okay? The more you play with it, the more you respect it, the more you'll be able to manipulate it in times of panic. There's little drills. There's all kinds of stuff you guys can check out. I tell you what, a really good guy to watch. A really good guy has a lot of technical information. I've followed him since day one. Sean Ray. Go check out the Sean Ray channel. Vigilance Elite. He has a whole group of, if you're intimidated going to class, he's got some online stuff. He's great. He's basically teaching, civilians how to, manipulate, control their weapons. Hopefully one day I can get Sean Ray on this show. He's one of the guys I really dig. Marcus Luttrell's another one. I'm all about my military guys. I love my military guys. That's the one regret I have in my life, is I wasn't able to serve
in the military.
Yeah. My son serves right now in the military. There was an issue that happened to me. I was injured before I was going to boot camp. Jacked up my shoulder really, really bad. And that was it. It took me out. And to be honest with you, everybody was like, "Where are we going?" I went to one of my buddies went to the Marines. When we were in high school, we were going to do the buddy program. He went to the Marines. I was going to go to Buds, Navy SEALs. That's my plans.
You got to get into the Navy through that.
I was going to go through that. I was planning on going to Michigan, going up there, doing prepping up to go be in the SEALs. I know a lot of people say that, but I actually still have my paper and all that. And then it was about 3 weeks into it. I got into an accident, jacked my shoulder up real bad. Went and did a physical. They were like, "No go." Yeah. There was a tear, crack. I still, you see it all the time. I'll be standing there, make a turn, and I'm out.
My biggest regret isn't not being able to get into the military. And mine was, it wasn't injury. It's just my body structure and my size at the time. I couldn't go in.
You were just way too big.
I was too big. I was like at 27%. And I missed the cutoff by like 2 weeks with actually losing weight. And that really hurt me because 1, I'm a patriot, 2, I'm an American, and 3, I believe in, if you can, serve. Because less than 1% of the population can serve in the military. So not everybody can go, I served in the military.
Right. So also get back on that. Even though I wasn't able to do that, I did work for weapons companies in Virginia. Did a lot of stuff at Little Creek, Virginia Beach, Virginia. SEAL teams are out there. Worked around the SEAL teams in a support capacity with civilian capacity. Yeah. It was a pretty cool experience. I worked with some down in Blackwater when Blackwater was down there in Moyock, North Carolina. Was down there, did some work there. So I wasn't able to serve, but I was able to do something to support the effort.
Yeah.
So, but that's why my son's in. When your son's in, your son's doing something that you weren't able to do. I'm not living through my son by any means. When I say that, I'm just proud of him because he chose to serve the country first before he takes. Does that make sense? You want to serve before you extort this country.
Yeah.
You're going to take something from its milk and honey and its wheat fields.
You're going to get something out of it. You're going to get something out of America because you put your time in.
Right. So. But anyway, that trained up, taught people how to use firearms, all that kind of thing. I did some training, specialized training, trained a couple of diplomats, some people who were,
scared to go to classes. People are very intimidated with the classes.
Well, think about it. Some of these guys really know their shit. When you're a tier 1 operator, flat out, you're trained not to put up with a lot of bullshit.
Yeah.
You train hard, work hard, but what they got to do, and the transition is so hard when you're up to tier 1, because right now my son's being actually evaluated because they're asking him to go
to Ranger
school and all that right now, and then all that they're talking about, all that kind of stuff, being selected and all that kind of stuff. So I told him that's not my choice. It's his choice. So whatever he does. But I can see where people get intimidated. Cool part of it is if you guys really want to go, I'm going to try to have a guest on him, and I'm going to reach out to him this week and see if I can get him on the show. You guys can check him out. I'm going to try to get Tim Kennedy. He's an MMA fighter, special forces sniper, all that. He lives literally right down the road from us.
Okay.
So I'm going to try to get a hold of him, see if he wants to come in, because I do get questions. People are intimidated. Tim's runs a class. I think he runs an intermediate class up to a novice and an expert and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But Tim is really good with folks. So Tim, if you're watching this, hey man, how's it going? I used to roll with Tim at John's Gym a few times, that kind of thing up there. We're doing jiu-jitsu. But yeah, he's got a really good program. Hopefully I get him on the show. So let's get back to where we were on. That's a pretty good stint on the military. I love the military. We're going to do some stories too.
Yeah, I love the military. I love everything about the military.
If you guys can't tell behind me,
yeah,
we're all about the military.
We're all about the military. Military support 100%.
So
somebody asking you an irrelevant question.
Actually, no, this is actually great. So check this out. This is right now. We're running this.
Okay.
Okay. We got friends that live in Virginia, right? Okay, and people are traveling up to D.C. right now.
Yeah.
So my wife just texted me this. She's like, hey, I just talked to one of our friends in Virginia.
Uh-huh.
Okay. They're outside North Chevy Chase, and one of their buddies were coming in to drive. And he said when you pull it up on Google Maps, it doesn't give you any directions how to get to Washington, D.C.
Really?
Right there. Directions not available.
What is that?
Isn't that crazy?
Yep, to Washington. Right there.
To Washington. Directions not available to Washington, D.C.
Not available at this current road because of current road conditions. What's that tell you what's going on in Washington, D.C. today, January 6th?
So, yeah, we all. Okay, so this is one of the things I wanted to talk about. I think big tech is going to start blacking out stuff. I think Google's going to get shut down.
There. That right there is Google Maps.
That's part of it.
Google Maps right there.
So what's funny is because people rely on their phones,
Mm-hmm.
but I do know some people in that area like that. Even though they at their phones, they carry a map in the back of the truck.
It's all you always have to have in a sad society today doesn't know how to read a map.
Well, what
an
I'm
actual
saying
paper map.
You actually it's for some. Well, guess what? You know why? Because you can't really go find them in the stores.
Yeah,
anymore.
they're not producing it.
You know, that's why some of these people are buy old maps on eBay.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, what's getting them too is there's so much new building going on they couldn't keep the maps up anyway.
Yeah.
That's nuts. Real time, January 6th, 3:01 p.m. Central Time. You cannot get directions to Washington, D.C. That's a trip.
Yeah. So thank you for that, sweetie. Okay, let's get back on the Linwood thing.
Going back down on the Linwood.
You know, he's talking about the key. And this is where we are. Sorry about that. I'm trying to keep everything going here. Sometimes we get off subject.
We trail a little bit.
It's the Big Mike podcast. We do what we want here. Yep. You guys, this is a good dose for you guys to sit back and listen.
Mm-hmm.
Let us ramble. Let us give you something to think about. Let you stir around and be like, hey, let me go check that out. If it's the first time you guys hearing about all this, and I know a lot of you guys probably hearing this, probably heard it before.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of other stuff. I do have some stuff that I want to go over, but that podcast would probably go on about 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah, that'll be our first live one when we have I would say 100 subscribers. When we get to 100 subscribers, we're actually going to do a giveaway.
Okay, now listen to this. So I think it was last year or a year and a half, Sidney Powell did a speech at a college. And when she was talking at this college, in one of her speeches, we're talking about the Anthony Weiner laptop.
Okay.
All right. And she said that Trump needs to bring in the military and analyze that. Okay, I think there was 12 detectives in New York who saw that. Half those guys are dead now.
Does that surprise you?
Well, because they seen there was a lot of questionable stuff.
Yeah.
There was kids being raped on there. It was pedophilia. It was all kinds of.
Now, Linwood actually brought this up too, correct?
Not
the Anthony Weiner thing.
Well, I think it's all tied together. I think this is the key he was talking about. Was the stuff on Anthony Weiner's laptop that was
when he said he had the key.
Yeah, well, apparently the key was given to Isaac Cappy.
Okay.
Now, Isaac Cappy, if you guys don't know who Isaac Cappy is, he's the guy that played the assistant on Nutty Professor.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The guy with the glass. That's Isaac Cappy. He was an actor in Hollywood. He was best friends with Seth Green.
Okay.
Okay. So what happened was Isaac knew some shit was going on, but really didn't know how bad it was. So he's at a little dinner with his girlfriend, Seth Green, and his girlfriend.
Okay.
And Seth Green brought up some stuff, which is keywords like chicken and stuff. Chicken means like young male boy and all this kind of stuff. And he was talking all kind of weird stuff.
Kind of like code.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a lot of code.
So Cappy was getting really, I think there's a video on it where he's talking about this. And then Seth Green shows Cappy like this behind this bookshelf in his house right now.
It's Seth Green himself.
Seth Green, the actor.
Okay.
And was talking, he's like, hey, this is where we take the kids. And it's like a faux bookshelf in this room. Like, I guess it's a rape room.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he freaked out. And Isaac Cappy went down alcohol, doing pills. He passed out these things because he was committed suicide. What they said.
Yeah.
But I don't believe that at all. So there was some videos that got leaked out.
Mm-hmm.
They're on this key as well. I think Linwood's dropped a couple of them.
That's his whole basis of a key.
Well, the key.
What are you saying, a key?
Well, I think it's a thumb drive.
Okay.
I think there's several thumb drives floating around. I think people are freaking out.
Okay.
Because I think Linwood said if you come after me and try to kill him, he's got several keys that are people know.
Okay.
And they will dump the information quickly.
Like happened with it when Epstein got.
Well, no,
Epstein killed himself.
A lot of the Epstein stuff, he still thinks Epstein's still alive, and part of me does think that to a point because it happened so quick. The cameras were off, the guards were.
Wasn't that convenient? That was very convenient.
Well, I mean, it was very.
He's on suicide watch, and then all of a sudden,
why do you think Ghislaine Maxwell? She tried to get no. They're not letting her go.
Yeah, they're not letting her go.
She's under 24-hour surveillance.
Yeah.
Trump's got the proper people in there, patriot people in there, because she knows she's got.
But if you noticed all these people that are coming out and you hear about it right off the bat, all of a sudden you don't hear from them after that. Look at Bubba Linsky. Have you heard from him since he came out?
Well, Bubba Linsky, if you guys know anything about him, his family, he
was the business partner for Hunter Biden.
Yeah,
have you heard from him?
You don't have to. He's super wealthy. He's got security.
Yeah, I think he just went under, like, he's under the radar a lot right now.
Well, he has to be under the radar.
Yeah.
I mean, because you know what's going to happen. If Biden gets in the office, they're going to come right after him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
They're going to come right after him.
Yep.
So, but I guarantee he's already prepared. I guarantee you he has a kill switch too. Like, you know.
But all these people that are coming out, I noticed that you're not hearing a lot from them at all right now. What it like came out and everybody's like, okay, this is what's going on, and then all of a sudden they're like, move it to the side and letting everything come together.
Okay, so here's the thing. This is what drives me crazy. There's 2 tiers of justice in this country. Okay, if me and you fart the wrong way and look down that way and walk past stop sign, we're gonna get a ticket.
Yeah. Well, here's even better. We get a DUI.
Oh yeah, they're throwing us into the jail.
We're going to go into the jail. But if we had millions of dollars and we're a celebrity, you get a DUI, you get a slap on the wrist, community service. I'm sorry I did that, and that's it.
Well, it's what it is. 2-tier justice. If anybody did just a fraction, not even a
drug
fraction,
charges
of what Hillary Clinton did,
oh my God,
we'd be in jail right now.
The
Now,
jail would fall down before you got out.
Let me get these keys. So everybody's talking about the keys.
Okay.
There's multiple keys, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And when you break all this down, this is the keys, and you guys can think about this on like how I'm looking at it. So the keys, this is what I took down as some notes. You got the John Podesta laptop too.
Okay.
John Podesta's laptop. Okay. Anthony Weiner's laptop.
Okay.
You got Hillary Clinton's 30,000 emails.
Which they still have.
FBI has.
They do have them.
They had them before the Trump impeachment. And the Hunter Biden's laptop.
Yep.
Okay. There's 5 keys.
That's 5.
Okay. Well, hold on. This is my theory. This is how I'm breaking it down. I don't know if you guys could probably think of it different.
Okay.
I think if you think 5 keys, the laptops and all this stuff,
mm-hmm.
I think information is tied to each laptop and emails that flow. I think John Podesta has information on Weiner, and Weiner has information on Podesta.
Okay.
Podesta has information on Hillary. Hillary has information on Podesta.
And Weiner.
Right, and Weiner.
Okay.
Okay, because it's Uba Abedin was Hillary's.
And then Weiner has stuff on Hillary.
because Uba Abedin was his wife.
Yeah.
Okay, and Hillary Clinton's assistant.
Okay.
Okay, here's another one. The 30,000 emails, I think they roll into Hunter Biden's laptop.
Yeah, because that was during the Biden terms of vice president.
Right. Okay, hold on. And then we're going to come back. There's a 6th key. The 6th key, which
I think Linwood's not releasing that.
No, I don't think he has it. I don't think anybody has it. I think it's destroyed. I think it was Hillary Clinton's server.
Okay.
The private server that was in her house
up
in Wapachaka, whatever, New York or some shit like that. So the server, everybody was asking for the server.
Mm-hmm.
I think that
now
server
they can't find it.
Well, I think that server was to put, listen, this is how I'm looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
I think the server was, that's some State Department material, but I think what it was, Hillary Clinton had blackmail material on all these people.
Okay.
Hold on. It was loaded on that server, and then the Chinese Communist government could able to
Oh, okay.
Pull off that server.
Okay.
Pull compromising information on officials and politicians and whoever is
And use them as leverage.
Institution. Use that as leverage in order to manipulate their politics on America.
It doesn't sound too far-fetched.
That's when you talk about the keys, the 5 keys.
Yeah.
I talk about the 5 keys all the time. And when Linwood was talking, as he's talking, I knew a lot about this stuff before Linwood even knew about it. Because certain things were said. I'll just go, use your do your own for information. You don't go on the regular web to look for information.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not a conspiracy theory by any means. This is just me thinking out loud right here in front of everybody right now about my theory on how all this information is powerful.
Oh, yeah.
Because it could dictate life or death right now.
Yep.
Okay? And I think that's why they're scrambling around doing everything they possibly can so they can put all that shit back in Pandora's box, because if anybody besides Trump gets in office in the next 2 weeks, you will never hear anything again.
Nope.
Ever again. They will not tell us. They will tell us who the president is. We won't be voting anymore. Because the integrity of elections are just... Look, I just saw a tweet a second ago that they're voting in Georgia, and 3 Dominion machines went down.
Huh.
That's
On the Senate runoff.
Yeah. Just now, a second ago, when I was sitting there going through stuff, it just popped up.
Wow.
So there's a lot of crazy shit going on right now that I think a lot of people need to think about it. But if you guys want to check out a great piece, if you guys want to know more about Linwood... I can't remember the cat's name. It's Clay something. I'm gonna throw it out there.
Well, just type in Linwood and
Camp
in Clay.
No, it's Camp Fireside Chats.
Okay.
Fireside Chats with Linwood. I think it's 5 episodes with Linwood. I caught the first one, and after I caught the first one, I kind of just I was kind of new. And then follow us on Parler. If you guys like what you guys are hearing, if you guys want to follow what we're doing, like, subscribe, share this, hit the bell for notifications.
Yep.
Follow us on Parler. On Parler, it's the Big Mike Show. It's actually the Big Mike Podcast. Share this out to everybody. We want to build on this platform. If you guys want to even support us more, we're going to have our Patreon stuff up. You guys, we're going to do live chats and stuff like that. Donations would be cool, because the more donations we get, the more
people we can get in here.
The more people we can get in here, the more we're going to give y'all a lot of great, fantastic, just inside interviews. I mean, we're going to be calling everybody. I'm going to try to get a hold of a lot of people. Since us coming out the way we are, and we're just kind of laying our show out, and a lot of people don't know who we are yet, kind of difficult for people to go, oh, your audience is not that big.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine right now.
You got to start somewhere, though.
Okay, that's fine. You give me a year, and I promise you, people will be calling, and knocking down the door here.
Because we're gonna do, we'll do phone call interviews. The people who can't come into the, there's people all over the nation. Before we cut out of here, but just make sure subscribe below.
Yeah.
Got any questions? BigMikePodcast@gmail.com. Look us up on YouTube. Big Mike Podcast. We will have a Facebook page up.
We just kind of glazed over some of the Linwood stuff. Now, if you really want to go into detail, now everybody's going to go, where's your receipts? Prove it. Look, I don't have to. Okay.
Linwood's already done that.
Okay. He has that already. Go do the research yourself. I don't have to sit here and read you line by line this stuff. I'm just giving you something for you to think about, to go check out.
Yeah.
I'm not doing your research for you, because I'm not thinking for you.
Yeah.
Being your own thinking self.
We're just putting it out in limelight here.
Right.
Yep. We're putting it in. We're putting it in the.
Before we cut out of here, you guys hear me say it. One of my all-time favorites ever on the radio when I was growing up was Paul Harvey.
Okay.
He was my all-time favorite. I still listen to his stuff today. I mean, I listen to a lot. My grandma used to play that Paul Harvey all the time. Good day. That's Paul Harvey. Good day. I want to play something that he broadcasted in 1965.
Okay.
And I want you to listen to it. And I'm not going to play all of it. I'm only going to play 3 minutes of it.
Okay.
I think it's a total of 9 minutes, but we're going to play 3 minutes of it. Listen to this. And just listen to what he's talking about. This was recorded in 1965.
55 years ago.
Yeah. And he was calling.
65, excuse me.
Yeah, 60,
yep, 65.
Damn.
Was it 65? 55.
1965.
Yeah, so 35,
math,
20,
right? Get the math right.
55. 55 years ago.
55 years ago, this man had a vision on what could happen to America.
Mm-hmm.
And if we didn't, falter. Now, I'm only going to play 3 minutes of it, but it's a good 3-minute listen.
Okay.
And we're going to leave the show at the end of that. And after that, you guys please leave your comments down below. Tell us if you enjoy this. We're working on getting better content. We're going to work on getting more, down and dirty on certain stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, also, too, if you guys want to share a story or whatever, or
questions,
some ideals or whatever,
yep,
like for a show, send them away. We'll go over them. We'll spitball everything. We're not going to be on politics all the time.
Yeah.
Some of our shows are going to talk about just, current events and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to call it politics 24/7, but I do want everybody to know, look, I stand with Trump 100%. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I love this country.
He loves this country.
I mean, it's the best. Look, we are the beacon of light.
For the entire world.
The entire world looks to America for freedom because they have the hopes and dreams is that one day they're going to be able to have that same freedom.
Yep.
So
people come here to be free. We don't go somewhere else to be free.
No, you don't see them. Okay, you don't see them. Well, we don't see us running across the border down here. Oh, I'm going to Mexico. Man, I'm good down there.
Yeah, they're free. No, you got people coming from Mexico. You got people coming from France. That's why we're a melting pot.
But yeah,
everybody's coming here.
Everybody wants to slice the American pie.
Yep.
But look, if you want to slice the American pie,
you got to work for it.
You're going to work and make the dough before you get a piece of that pie.
Yep.
You need to go do the right thing, do it the proper way.
Yep.
I had buddies that came in from Mexico,
yep,
and they did it the right way. Spent a lot of money, but they did it the right way. And the one thing they always said is that I'm a citizen, and you can't take that away from me.
Exactly.
No matter what happens, if they're going to start deporting people or whatever, he can sit there and smile because he's an American citizen.
Yep.
He did it the right way.
Yep.
So, and he loves this country, and I'm glad he spent the money and time and his blood and sweat and all that, because that's what it is. Because think about it. What built this country was sweat.
Blood, sweat, and tears.
It was sweat that hit the soil that made something.
Yep.
So you're not getting something for nothing. You have to put sweat equity into this country in order to get stuff out.
Yep.
Now there's people thinking you don't have to work. You could just make
they're
money.
just going to give it to me.
No. And those people, time will come, because America's really good. I mean, we might take a couple of punches in the face, might get knocked down, we'll get back up. But what happens is we figure it out. Once we figure it out, we're a whole lot stronger.
Yeah.
And then once we figure out your punch combination, then you're fucked.
We're going to counter it.
Yeah, we got you. Because I was raised to always go forward. I was raised to keep punching no matter if I'm losing. No matter what, I'm going to give everything I got 110%.
Fight.
And I know people in Washington right now who are able, if you're able to go to D.C., go to D.C. Watch your back. Make sure you get your body cameras on.
Yep.
Make sure you got your cameras on your phone, because some bullshit's going to pop off, and they're going to try to do all that. I just heard one of the Proud Boy leader got arrested because he burnt a BLM flag.
Yeah.
But it's okay for them some bitches to run
burn
around
American flag.
And burn, go around and burn businesses.
Well, they could burn the American flag and not get in trouble.
So, not anymore. You get caught doing that.
Yeah, but before a BLM flag, they're nothing.
Now, you take that BLM,
they're not a religious group. They're not a government agency, anything like
whatever. You're funded by some scrupulous people. We all know it. You're funded by George Soros, which I think he should be on hit list number 1. Put the crosshairs on him, and I think flat out, I think the crosshairs have been hunting him several times this past couple of months.
And they're starting to get on Pelosi.
And I can tell you this right now,
too.
If you are compromised, if you are blackmailed, you need to step forward now.
Yep. Because if you don't.
I want to tell y'all something. I don't know if you knew this. I found this out. In November, I think it was towards the end of the month, they passed a law. It's stated now. If you're tried for treason, firing squad.
I thought that was only during wartime.
No. They signed it back look it up if they come playing.
Really?
Yep.
I thought it was only wartime.
So now, if you're caught for treason, firing squad. This is the whole new thing, because, look, does that sound like our president? Does that sound like our president's leaving office?
Nope.
No. Nope. Like I said, so share this with people.
Share, like, comment, subscribe below.
Share it. So what we're going to do is we're going to play this 3-minute stretch We'll come back, and we're going to cut this out. So thank y'all for listening to the Big Mike podcast. I hope you guys enjoy this stuff. I enjoy talking about it because the more you talk about it, it's kind of like PTSD.
Mm-hmm. The more you talk about it, the better.
You're stressed out. You want to hear someone talk about it. You want to agree with people. You want to be around the community and just decompress. Basically, this is what we're doing. We're decompressing. This is our PTSD decompressing of what's going on around us, because so many people are going through crap right now with lockdowns and shit. And I'm working on episode 5 right now, taking notes. And I'm gonna really go into every detail on the next show. It's probably gonna get longer. Yeah. But I want to keep them down to about 50 minutes to 60 minutes.
60 minutes,
you know. And then when we do our live, and then we have our live, you know, the donation thing and all that kind of crap, we're going to be getting on. Yeah. You guys can come in. We're going to do super chats. You guys can ask questions and all that. And hopefully we're going to get the other 2 cameras set up. So there'll be different camera angles. Right now we're working on this one.
Working on one camera, but, you know, we're not millionaires.
So, no, by no means.
We're working our way up.
Fame. We're not going to be no YouTube superstars or podcast giants and stuff like that. But if you like what you hear, please like, subscribe, hit the bell,
comment,
and let's go ahead. This is Paul Harvey, 1965. Listen to this.
The Magna Carta was handed to King John on the end of a sword, denying to royalty the right of unlimited taxation. Yet you know it was for us, the American people, to become the first in recorded history ever voluntarily to surrender our rights to private property. Oh, yes, we did. With an innocent-sounding constitutional amendment, the 16th, which says that Congress shall have the power to lay and collect taxes on incomes from whatever source derived, and we forgot to put any limit on the extent to which we could tax ourselves. Conceivably, we could be taxed out of all private property. We could be taxed not 70%, 80%, 90%, but 100%. We could awaken one morning and find that the government owns the farm and the house and the car and has a mortgage on the church, legally. Historically, whenever any nation has taxed its people more than 25% of their national income, initiative was destroyed and that nation was headed for economic eclipse. History says we'll roll forward on momentum for a little while, but we'd better get some more gas in the tank pretty quick. You see, ours is not the first by George good government to arise on the world stage. There have been several. Rome, Spain, and Greece, and China, and each enjoyed about 150 years at its zenith. That's just about our time in the New World. And then each decayed away. Not one of them was ever destroyed by anybody else's marching legions. Each rotted away, morally, socially, culturally, economically, simultaneously. You know, one of the most cruel paradoxes of history is this. Because each was a good government, it bore bountiful fruit. And when it bore bountiful fruit, the people got fat. And when they got fat, they got lazy. And when they got lazy, they began to want to absolve themselves of personal responsibility and turn over to government to do for them things which traditionally they had been doing for themselves. At first, there appears to be nothing wrong asking government to perform some extra service for you, but if you ask government for extra services, government, in order to perform its increasing function, has to get bigger, right? And as government gets bigger, in order to support its increasing size, it has to what? Tax the individual more. So the individual gets littler. And to collect the increased taxes requires more tax collectors, so the government gets bigger. And in order to pay the additional tax collectors, it has to tax the individual more, so the government gets bigger and the individual gets littler. And the government gets bigger, and the individual gets littler, until the government is all-powerful. The individual is hardly anything at all. The government is all-powerful. The people are cattle. Now, some believe that the need is for a vigorous, strong man to arise on the scene, to regulate and regiment the affairs of men. Yet history tells us there have been several such. Once upon a time, there was a nation great and powerful and good. She was suffering from the aftermath of war, from a depression. And then came upon the scene a leader, an idealist, self-confident, intolerant of criticism. Wisely, he limited his early activities to combating the financial depression. Nobody could argue with that. But in a while, he began to regulate business and establish new rules to govern commerce and finance. Some of them in diametrical disagreement with the God-made laws of supply and demand, but anybody who disagreed with those new rules was promptly fired. The national debt mounted alarmingly. Whenever anybody tried to tell him that governments, even as people, can go broke when they spend beyond their incomes, he said they just didn't understand deficit finance. Well, what do you say? Did he build on rock or on sand? I say on sand.
Pretty powerful stuff.
55 years ago. What's that telling you?
No, we only played 3 minutes of that. It's freedom to change. If you guys want to check that out, it's about 9 minutes long. I was going to play the whole 9-minute thing, but I just wanted to get, the overview of what this man, Paul Harvey, was a true patriot, God-fearing man.
Mm-hmm.
And when I heard that, I literally, you tear up. I'm getting emotional now, but what it is if I would have played another 3 minutes of it, you would have probably thought about everything and been in tears. But
it's exactly what's going on right now.
Yes.
55 years ago. Exactly what's going on right now.
So you see how, the government thinks we're cattle. They don't care what we're doing. I mean, they really don't. Government is not out for us at all. So, but
if you don't learn from history, history's bound to repeat itself.
and it's
And
doing
what
that
happened?
right now.
And
It's
what's
doing that
going
right
on?
now. So, but thank y'all. Appreciate y'all tuning in on episode 4. This is pretty exciting because we're going to be doing a lot of other stuff. Like I said, we're going to be working on interviews. I'm working on setting up our first interview with EOD Sergeant, who was basically on a Trump detail for the rallies and stuff like that. He's going to give us some inside baseball on, what he's seeing at the rallies, what they're going through, what they're set up. He can't go too detailed. He's still active duty. But he's going to let us know some stuff, and I'm looking forward for that conversation. Matter of fact, I'm going to be on the phone tonight with him. We're going to I'm going to talk to him some more, and hopefully we can get some times and details set up. So probably maybe Thursday or Friday we'll set that interview up.
Okay.
And then the quicker we get this built on YouTube, and you guys subscribing, the quicker we can start going live.
Subscribe, share, like.
I don't
comment.
know if the Big Mike Podcast Facebook page is up yet.
Not yet.
We're going to check that out. If that's up, y'all go over to Big Mike Podcast on Facebook. Like, share. We're going to start
follow.
We're going to be putting video clips up there. We're going to be putting all kinds of stuff up there.
We might be going live sooner on Facebook than we will on YouTube.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah,
so we're going to do that. But thank y'all. Love y'all. God bless America. And we'll see you on the next go-around.